I still remember the moment my life stopped making sense. The invitations had already been mailed. Her dress hung in the closet, untouched and perfect. The seating chart was finally finished after weeks of stressful arguments. Everything was in place. And then she disappeared. 3 days before Emma left for her girls' trip, she kissed me on the forehead and promised she'd be back before the weekend. We had plans to meet the florist together on Saturday. Instead, I spent that Saturday calling every friend she claimed to be with, and none of them had seen her. At first, I thought something terrible had happened. An accident, maybe even a kidnapping. My chest tightened every time the phone rang, terrified it would be the police with devastating news. But no news came. Only silence. It was the emptiness that broke me the most. For 5 days, Emma ignored every call, text, and email. Her parents panicked. I filed a missing persons report. I searched her social media, her inbox, everything. Nothing. Authorities told me, give it time. Maybe she just needs space before the wedding. Space. That word haunted me. If she needed space, why not say so? Then on the 6th night at 2:15 a.m., my phone buzzed with a message. My heart jumped. Finally something. It was Emma. I'm okay. I just need some time to think. Please don't worry. I'll explain soon. No, I love you. No, I miss you. Just distance. Cold, detached distance. I stared at that message for an hour. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, trembling, but I never replied. Something felt wrong. The wedding that never came. The next morning, I called her mother. She hadn't heard from Emma. Neither had her father. She had cut everyone off. By the 7th day, the venue coordinator called asking for final confirmations. That's when the truth hit me like a knife. There wasn't going to be a wedding. I canceled it. Not out of anger, but because I couldn't stand in front of 200 people pretending, while the woman I was supposed to marry was somewhere deciding if I was still worth her time. My parents supported me. Hers begged me to wait, but the silence had already spoken louder than any vow. The return. She came back 2 weeks later. I was in my apartment, boxes half-packed with decorations we'd never use, when the doorbell rang. She stood there sunburned, hair tangled, still in the same denim jacket she had left in, looking guilty. Daniel, she whispered. Can we talk? I wanted to scream, demand answers, but my voice came out flat. She stepped inside slowly, scanning the stripped-down living room. No photo samples. No wedding notes. Just emptiness. It didn't feel like our home anymore. It felt like the waiting room for a breakup. I needed to clear my head, she began. I laughed. It wasn't a kind laugh. You vanished, Emma. You terrified everyone. And that's your explanation. Her hands shook. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I was confused. Confused about what? I snapped. About marrying me? She didn't respond. Her silence answered everything. The uneasy truth. She stayed only 20 minutes that night, leaving with a promise. I'll tell you everything. Just give me a few days. But I was done waiting. I started digging. I opened our shared cloud drive, the one she forgot I still had access to. That's when I found them. Photos buried deep in a hidden album. A beach I'd never seen. Sunset drinks. And Emma smiling beside a man I didn't know. A bearded arm wrapped around her shoulders like she belonged to him. My stomach dropped. The timestamps matched the week she vanished. The betrayal. The next day, I called her. My voice was steady, too calm. Who is he? She didn't ask who I meant. She didn't even try to lie. Silence stretched out before she finally whispered, His name is Tyler. I met him 6 months ago at the gym. My heart nearly stopped. 6 months. Half a year of secrets. Half a year of planning a wedding with me while sharing sunsets with him. Why, was all I could ask. I don't know, she cried. It started as a mistake. I thought it was just a fling. But when the wedding got closer, I panicked. I needed to know what I wanted. And it wasn't me, I said, voice breaking. She sobbed, loud, ugly sobs, but I didn't comfort her. Not this time. The fallout. News spread quickly. Her parents were crushed. Mine were furious. Friends who had booked flights demanded answers I couldn't give without tearing myself apart again. She claimed she wanted to fix things. At least, that's what she said in her final voicemail. But how do you fix something that was never real? For weeks, I couldn't sleep in our bed. I lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, picturing her with him, her hand in his, her lips whispering promises she once gave me. The apartment turned into a graveyard of lies. The worst revelation came 3 weeks later in an email from a woman named Claire. "We need to talk about Emma. I'm Tyler's girlfriend." My blood froze. We met at a small cafe downtown. Claire looked shattered, dark circles under her eyes, pale face. She slid her phone across the table. Texts between Tyler and Emma. It wasn't just an affair. It was a plan. They had been plotting to run away together after the wedding. She was going to marry me, take the gifts, the money, the honeymoon, then claim she had made a mistake and leave, splitting everything she could. Claire discovered it when she found their emails about the prenup. Emma was furious that I insisted on one. When she couldn't change it, she disappeared. Not because she was confused, but because her scheme was collapsing. The final confrontation. The next time I saw her, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just set the printed emails on the table. Her face drained of color. "Who gave you that?" she whispered. "It doesn't matter," I said. "You were going to use me, marry me for show, for money, for gifts, and then what? Leave me broken while you ran off with him." She didn't deny it. She just sank into a chair, buried her face in her hands, and muttered, "I didn't mean for it to get this far." I almost laughed. She had chosen every step that brought her here. Moving on. 6 months have passed. The venue never refunded us. The invitations were never sent back. But I feel lighter. The rage has cooled into clarity. I erased every photo, every message, every trace of her from my life. Claire left Tyler. Sometimes we still talk, not as lovers, but as survivors of the same storm. On sleepless nights, I wonder if Emma ever truly loved me, or if I was just a placeholder, a stepping stone in her escape. But then I remember her expression when I canceled the wedding. Not sadness. Not heartbreak. Fear. Fear that her mask had finally slipped. The lesson. Betrayal doesn't always come with slammed doors or screaming fights. Sometimes it comes with a soft kiss on the forehead and a promise to return soon. Sometimes the worst pain isn't the wedding you canceled. It's the life you almost walked into. A life built on lies. I dodged a bullet. And for that, I'll always be grateful.